Well, good morning, everyone.
The weather has finally turned around.
We got really nice weather today.
I think we've turned the corner. I don't think we'll be getting any more snow. I hope not anyway, but
I'd like to think not. It's almost, well, I don't even know what the date is today. It's getting near the end of
April.
so
Yeah. We should be good, hopefully.
yeah.
You're all covered in sawdust. You've been sawing like a madman the last few days.
I have. That's kind of been my in between the rain, and we've had it. Well, yesterday wasn't too bad.
No.
You were inside painting signs.
Repainting the signs for the stands.
Yeah, we got to get to that next week.
Yep.
That should
Time.
be get the stands out and get that going, but I don't know. What are we going to do?
I think we're going to be ending up doing a little bit of everything today. We've got the pine over there that we've got to finish up. We're at the end of that, so
Yeah,
get
most
that
of it's
finished and down in the Woodyard because we've got to start on hardwood next.
Well, we would have been done, but I went and got another load of pine from that new tree guy.
Right.
So.
Yeah, and we took one day off to go to the river.
And we found a piece of gold.
A speck.
Just a little itty bitty teeny
It was
weeny.
actually two.
Oh, it was two. That's true.
Specks.
The second one was even smaller. But we finally did it. We made it. I felt like a mountain goat trying to get in there.
Oh my God, that was more of a workout than working here all day.
We should have brought the camera along. You ought to see where I made her go.
Wow.
Boy, that mountain was just like that, and we had to traverse down the side, and you were holding trees trying to walk down through.
Carrying stuff, and oh my God.
It was so worth it. We found a speck of gold,
It was so worth it.
I thought she was going to kill me, you guys.
Yeah, I think our hobby's turning into be your hobby.
Yeah, I had fun doing it, but
it's
whatever.
fun. I mean, I love being at the river and stuff, but you know, this guy, everything's a job. So.
Well, you got to move a lot of dirt.
Yeah, and it's you got
to get further away. If you go panning right next to the bridge, that's where everybody else goes. So you got to walk half a mile or a mile away.
That's really not it, but it's just like you're like, I don't know. You were more lame than you are leaving this place
I was.
at the end of the
I
day.
was the next day. Yeah.
He could barely walk.
Yeah, that pretty well did me in.
Yeah. So.
I'll be all ready for next week, though.
Yeah. I'm not sure if I will. We'll see.
Blue had a good time out there traipsing through the brook.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
anyway,
we got to get back to business, and
so I think we'll start with the pine.
I guess, yeah, I was sawing, but the other poobah, so if we got to go split wood.
Yeah.
I probably should cut some of that I brought the other day. There was a new guy, and he told me he had saw logs, you guys. And, well, yeah, they were like 8-footers, and they were only probably that big around, and I only really want to saw 1x12s because that's what we mostly sell, and you're going to have at least a 16-inch log to get a 1x12 out of. And I think there was one log that I did saw out. I think it was yesterday, yeah. Got some 1x12s out of it, but...
You've got quite the stacks here.
Oh, I've moved around. All the 8-footers are over in a different spot out next to the cherry now. There's 4 stacks, 50 stacks of 8-footers. And, yeah, there's over 100 10-footers, and
wow,
we're working on another 100 12-footers now, but... I keep doing a little every day, puttering away in the evening, saw a log here, saw a log there, in between the rain. We're getting there.
Yeah.
But I guess we could go split wood. It's been a few days since I split wood.
Yeah.
It
won't take us long to get
Should
that
I cut some
finished.
of that new stuff first?
If you want to.
Well, I'd rather just split, but we're going to run out of wood quick. There's not that much.
I'm going to start on the uglies, stacking those because the trailer's pretty full. But
and it's probably going to be a 2-day video.
Yeah, because we've got deliveries we've got to do tomorrow. 3 of them, right?
Yeah, 2 locations, but 3 deliveries. A quart of pine going to one guy, and then at the campground, we've got that one guy wants a half a quart of pine and a half a quart of hardwood.
Yep.
So
yeah, a little bit of everything.
At least that's the plan. We don't know if it's all gonna happen, but
well, they know that.
The weather says it's supposed to be nice for the next few days, so.
That'll work. All right, we better get moving.
All right, so am I cutting on the with a
Is that
chainsaw.
what you just decided?
I think so. All right, let me
Stacking.
go find my chaps and my helmet. I got my helmet on. I'm all right.
Yeah.
I'm halfway there.
Yeah, you're
I got
all
a
right.
soda, so we're good.
All right, we're off.
Yeah. Meow.
All right, time to do the splitting. That ended up to be a little more than I was anticipating.
And there's still a little bit left in the corral. A couple, probably at least another 2 bucketfuls, but
Jeez,
whatever.
I had to do a wardrobe change. It's warm today.
It is.
I
It's
think spring has finally sprung in the Northeast.
yeah, yeah. There's no snow around here anymore. That's for
No.
sure.
It's nice.
But there was still snow Monday when we were up there
Up
in
north.
the brook. So
Yep. Oh well, you can stay up there.
I've still got some of this from the last time I split. I'll send that up into the trailer because
Yep.
the bundle grade trailer is empty.
I got the bundle grade. I mean the uglies empty.
I see you got another almost half a pallet stacked already. So
Yep, I'm on it.
we'll keep adding to the pile. I'm gonna hate seeing that leave tomorrow. All that work down there, and now it's gonna just start leaving. That's no fun.
That's the whole point.
I know, puts dollar bills in our pocket, but the dollar bills leave just as quick as they come in.
I know,
so-
but the empty Woodyard just says you have to keep doing it all over again. I get it.
does.
All right, well, we better not
Yeah,
stand here talking
I'll get
because
things fired up and running and split some wood because that thing's full. But whatever.
Here
All
we
right.
go.
Yep, onwards. Oof.
What are you eating?
Scooby snack.
Break time with the cows.
Yeah. Blue. Want a treat? There you go. You want a treat, dear?
No, thank you.
No. You're a good girl, though.
I have my Smartie.
You're a good girl. I give you a treat.
Still eating these.
Wow. Yeah,
It's hot.
It is. Yeah, and it's probably only, what, 60, 65?
I think it's more than that. Well, probably 65 or so.
It's plenty warm.
I got another pallet done. Gonna have to move that.
Yeah. That means I split half a cord at least.
Yep.
Because that trailer was empty
Yep.
when I started splitting, so.
And there's still a little in it.
Yeah. Plus, that don't count the bundle grade that's gone up into the trailer, so. Yeah, I've split more than half a cord. It was time for a break.
Yeah, definitely. Can't go for that long at one stretch.
No, not getting back into it. About a half cord. I got to stop and have a cold Mountain Dew.
When are they going to sponsor us?
You'd think they would, huh?
You'd think. You're their
Just
biggest fan.
Just drop me off a pallet full here. Once every month or two. I could get into that.
That's something that is in every one of our videos. Mountain
It
Dew.
is. That's a big expense that we have. Almost a 12-pack of that a day. So.
Come on, Mountain Dew.
Come on.
Help us out.
Yeah. Send us an email. Hell, we'll even go get it. We'll
Right?
even drive into town and go get a lift. Yeah. Oh, wow. All right.
Flies are out. Lovely.
Well, we're in a cow pasture.
I know this.
Tends
They get
to-
pretty thick
Yeah,
during
really
the summer.
One on you. All right. We'll be back at you. We're going to take 5.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
all right.
And that there is why we wrap the pallets.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought you were going to dump it.
I thought I was going to dump it too, but it's a good thing we put those, when we're making the stacks, we push a log through so that the piles kind of hit each other.
Kind of like a brace.
Yep. Goes from one stack to the next, and that does stabilize it, and the plastic just kind of keeps it
Yeah.
from going everywhere.
You haven't
but
dumped too many over the
not too many, but
time.
when we started, we weren't using it, and we
Yeah.
dumped quite enough of them to know that we needed
Yeah.
to put plastic on them.
Yeah, you only want to restack one of those once.
Yeah, that was plenty. So, I
But
don't know. But we got probably about a cord and a half out of that,
yeah.
which
yeah.
is more than I thought would. I mean, that hopper was rounded right up, though.
Yeah, it was pretty full, and you had some big ones in there.
I could have probably got a couple more rounds in there, but not many. I think when I was loading it, I sent one out towards you anyway, so
Yeah, I
went rolling off.
kind of wiggled. Like, am I jumping or am I not
Yeah,
jumping?
Well, so
Back at the sawmill.
yeah, I'm going to keep sawing, but we got to have that trailer in the morning. There's still a little bit of
Yeah, I'm going to go finish stacking
bundle
that
grade.
before I leave, and
Yeah,
that'll be empty for the deliveries in the morning.
I'm just going to keep plugging away. I got that big log. I think there's 27
Yep.
of these 1x12s here, so I'm going to keep sawing that. And I've got a couple more logs over there, although I might go up top and find more 12s. That way I can get 50 of these.
Yep.
I don't know, there's got to be another 12 up there. I think there might only be 16s. I don't know what's up there.
I'm going to call it a day after I finish stacking that trailer.
Yeah, there's not much left in it, but whatever.
Do my other things.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to get things fired up here and
Yep.
start sawing.
Start sawing.
We'll,
Alrighty.
I guess we'll be back at them in the morning, right?
For the deliveries.
At least that's our first deliveries of the year.
It is. Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
I like that. Money.
Money, money, money.
All
All
right.
right, let's move.
Yeah,
Again.
I know. Ah.
Another nice day.
Yeah, it is.
I see you stayed busy. Got that log off there.
Yeah. Yeah, I ended up getting 22, I think I counted. 22 1x12s, 12 foot long, out of that one log, you
That
guys.
was a big one.
That was a big stick of wood. They didn't all make it into this pile. There's half a dozen over here because they had some black knots in it, but I'll cut them back to 8-footers or 10-footers and put them in a different pile. I don't like selling stuff with black knots because the knots fall out and that's not good. So, but
Yeah,
I got the trailers all
I
hooked
see
up.
that.
So I just got to go down back and bring up pine. We might as well do probably what, the quarter pine first?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll put 2 pallets of pine in and get that delivered. And then it's half quarter pine and a half quarter hardwood.
Right. To the
I'll have to
campground.
look at my text messages because I think he wanted the hardwood first. I can't remember. Oh well.
All right. First deliveries underway.
Nice. It's just so nice
It's
out.
gorgeous. Wow, what a nice spot that was. Right on the lake. Jealous. Next one up, we've got 2 half cords to go to Rang Pond Campground. He wanted a half cord of hardwood and a half a cord of pine. Hardwood first because he's putting them in 2 separate piles. So, and here comes Phil now with the first half cord, and we'll get that loaded and go deliver. Good.
Brought you some kindling too.
Oh, boy, thank you.
I don't know where you'd want it.
Just dump it right there anywhere.
Yuggo boy. Yeah.
All right, deliveries are all done. So are we. We're all done.
Well, I'm not.
Well, whatever.
It's not done. The day ain't done till it's dark.
Back.
But we did get a score while we were gone.
Yeah.
We come pulling in and there's a load of wood sitting out front, like a dump truck load. There's looked like a saw log in there. I saw a piece of birch.
Some hardwood.
The rest of it was oak, firewood, so.
Yeah, we delivered wood and wood got delivered to us.
Yeah, I wish it worked like that all the time.
Right. Yeah, so we're wrapping this up. We did a little bit of everything. We cut, we split, we stacked, we sawed, we delivered.
Been there and been back, and
We're done.
we did have somebody come up to us while we were in the campground. Wanted a, well, they said they'd call us, but
Yeah,
they liked the load of pine that was on, so.
that's a plus. Like those.
I didn't really want to do any more pine. I'd rather be doing hardwood.
No, but if we're doing it anyway, might as well do it.
Yeah, I know.
Can't get out, can't get away from it.
Hi, buddy. Yeah.
All right, so
Yeah,
We
this
appreciate you guys watching if you've hung out this long, and
Yeah, this has gone on way too
Yeah.
long for a video.
so stop talking.
I know.
We'll catch you on the next one.
All right. Bye.
Bye.